I think this is Andre Hogan, WrestleMania 3. What would be your biggest disappointment in this feud? What would disappoint you?
They do more than one match.
Really?
Yeah, here's my thing.
Ooh, I like it. I could see tribal combat, and maybe they'll actually get it right this time.
There's just this purity to it.
Yeah.
If it's one match at WrestleMania.
Well, welcome, WrestlePool.
What's up?
I'm Mike at MJH_WrestlePool. This is my friend Bear.
Hey, I'm at Chris Bear It'll be on the screen here.
I just like to say at MJH_WrestlePool. Okay?
It's a mouthful.
All right. All right, so we are here to give our booking opinions on what is shaping up to be the biggest feud of a generation.
Yeah.
In WWE, and by that I'm talking about the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment, The Rock.
Yep.
And the current tribal chief and the current head of the table, current being the key word, the one and only Roman Reigns. So the first question, before we get into booking this, and I have a few questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
To kind of put this into perspective on your expectations of this, what feud would you compare this to? Like off the top of your head, before we see anything more than what we've seen already with The Rock making his comment and Roman just laughing. Where do you put this?
This is Rock Hogan, right? Like that's what they're doing. This is that moment that they're doing with Rock Hogan at WrestleMania. That's what this is. This is not a story to be told. This is that moment. This is literally a moment to have Roman Reigns, who is quite arguably the greatest WWE champion at this point. I mean, maybe
since
of all
Bruno.
time. Since Bruno, but maybe of all time. Like, you can't deny who Roman Reigns is to the professional wrestling world and to the WWE. And so this is that moment of, it's kind of a passing of the torch, kind of a blessing, not that Roman really needs it, but that's what this is. And so that's what I look at this as is that moment, is Hulk. And I'm not looking for the story in the build is going to be fun. I just want to see Roman Reigns and The Rock across from each other in a ring at WrestleMania. They could literally get in the ring, shake hands, roll out, and be gone. And that's all I need.
I'm going to take it a step further. I think this is Andre Hogan, WrestleMania 3. I think there is a story here.
Interesting. Okay.
I think there is a definite story to tell.
Sure.
I think this is going to be the ultimate passing of the torch when it finally does happen. Mm-hmm. That will just further cement this iteration of Roman Reigns and this character of the tribal chief as the permanent Samoan head of the table, where this is going to be a corny analogy, but this is where Mario beat Bowser. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
this is the Miami Dolphins going whatever and on their run to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay. This is that big of a boss.
Sure.
I don't think The Rock is going to come in for a Rumble to Mania run and it end at WrestleMania 40, and then Rock is just going to do the job to Roman. And I don't want to say do the job, but lose to Roman on the first match.
Right.
So I think I think this is a Hogan Andre moment.
Interesting.
For Roman to Superman punch, then spear The Rock and get the pin is going to be, to me, the biggest it'll be the biggest moment we've had since then.
Right.
And it'll equate to Hogan slamming Andre, then getting the leg drop at that point.
That's interesting. That's an interesting, I could see that analogy, and I could see that. I'm with you. And I think but I'm with you. And I don't think this ends here. It's not my theory. It's 100% somebody else's theory, but I'm stealing it. So I have a theory of where this is going and what they're doing with this. I think it is one match, but I don't think the match is happening when we think it's yeah.
So you just answered my question. Let me ask the questions.
Yeah, ask the questions.
How many matches will they have?
This is one match.
Okay.
This is one singles match. Will there be like, oh, they tagged and
all right? So I'm including that. How many matches?
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't include that in this type of, because this is like I don't include that in this story. There's one match. That's it. It is one match, 1-on-1, nobody there, no bloodline interference, no nothing. It is one match. That is it.
I think they're going to have 3.
Wow.
I think this is going to be a trilogy played out over many months.
Interesting.
Many months.
Okay.
So you've kind of answered the next question, but what kind of matches will they be? Will there be stipulations? Will there be anything in your eyes that?
I think you do this a disservice if you make any sort of, if this is a street fighter, or I think this needs to be a 1-on-1, who can wrestle better than the other. The two, because Roman is poised to not just take the mantle from The Rock in terms of the WWE and professional wrestling, but he is taking he will take the mantle from The Rock in terms of being the biggest name in entertainment. Yeah. I honestly believe that is where Roman is destined for. He is walking away from the wrestling business in the next 4 to 5 years and going to Hollywood, and will be bigger than what Dwayne Johnson has ever done in Hollywood. That's my opinion. So, I think you do a disservice to this in this moment if you don't just let them wrestle. Just let them wrestle 1-on-1. And I said, like, oh, I'm sure there'll be the shenanigans of the bloodline and, Rocky bringing his people in and who's like, but like at the end of the day, this is a wrestling match. It is one wrestling match that will happen. So that's what I think. I don't think there'll be any.
Okay. I think it's going to be done in stages, because I think you're going to have the Solo and Jimmy aspect and the Jay aspect of this. Sure. So they're going to try to tell that story first.
Okay.
So I do think there'll be a tag team match, but I'm not talking about that. We'll exclude the one, because I think it'll be Rock and Jay versus Roman and Jimmy at Elimination Chamber. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's what I think is going to... At this year's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to throw Rock to the wolves. He was gassed giving a slam at a people's elbow to Jinder Mahal. Point. And then from there, I think it'll play out 3 singles matches. And I don't think they're going to be very far apart, because, again, we don't know how much time Rock has. So I'm assuming that Rock is... Because everything he's said is, I want to do something never done before for the fans.
Correct.
And when he talked about coming back on day one and saying that, we're just getting started.
Right.
So that leads me to believe that this is going to go 12 to 18 months.
Yes.
Okay. Intermittent, and there will be things that will happen. And I think it goes beyond WrestleMania 41. Yeah. So I'm there for that. I could very easily see SummerSlam, WrestleMania 41, SummerSlam 2025.
Right.
In those 3. And I don't think I could see Tribal Combat, and maybe they'll actually get it right this time.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Roman J Tribal Combat, what they said versus what happened, correct. 2 different things. It wasn't even a very good match.
No.
So they have a chance to kind of course correct and get that one right.
Sure.
And then from there, I can see like a last man standing and I quit and all this stuff. But the final match, I agree with you. When Roman does take that proverbial mantle, it'll be a 1-on-1 match. And I don't think there's going to be much of a bloodline left for Roman at that point.
That makes sense.
Because I think after that, I think that's when Roman does his babyface turn at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 matches. This is going to go on a while.
3 matches. Okay.
Will Roman Reigns be the undisputed champ throughout this entire process, or just part of it? And do you think The Rock wins the belt at any point during this feud?
I do not think The Rock wins the belt at any point, because, I mean, not that they're afraid of having part-time champions, but at the same time, like, I think The Rock. Yeah, no, I don't think The Rock does that. I don't think The Rock wins the belt. I also. Yeah, I don't think The Rock wins the belt. I'll save that for. I think there's another question coming, but The Rock does not win the belt. Is Roman Reigns the undisputed WWE Universal Champion through the entire thing? I think this is going 12 months.
Okay. So WrestleMania 41, you're
41 saying. Is what, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Roman Reigns. Ooh, that's such a. I'm ready. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Now I want to change my. Now I'm changing my answer in my head. I don't know. I think Roman Reigns is not the champion past WrestleMania 40.
Okay.
I think Cody finishes his story at WrestleMania 40.
Okay.
And Cody gets the belt, and Roman Reigns is not the champion for this, and he's not the champion at all. For this entire thing.
Yeah. I don't know if he loses it at 40. I agree with you that I don't think he's the champion through this whole thing. Like, I don't know if he's going to September of 2025.
For Hogan,
No, September 2024 is Hogan.
Oh, yeah, September 2024.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I think it's like April of 2026 or something for Backlund, and then 2028 is
right.
Bruno.
Yeah, we're not getting there.
I think Roman keeps the belt to pass Hogan. Okay? Yeah. If Roman's going to lose the belt, it's going to happen at Royal Rumble. Okay,
right.
The Rock's going to come out, going to cost Roman the belt. That's going to kickstart this whole thing. Randy wins the belt
at this Royal Rumble.
At this Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
If Roman's going to lose the belt, it's going to happen now. Okay, because then Then they're going to do a match at Mania.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't think they should do a match at Mania at all. But I do think Roman keeps the belt till. September 2024. He's going to pass Hogan. Right. And then from there, it's, well, what's the biggest event we can do?
Yeah.
Where's Royal Rumble in 2025?
Right.
Where's Survivor Series in 2024?
We don't know any of that.
You'll know something's big's going to happen. Well, it's also a business thing that they put Survivor Series in a domed stadium.
Yes.
In 2024. It's still War Games, but
in a stadium.
And it's Roman.
Should be crazy.
Cody.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there for the belt. If it's not WrestleMania 40, which I think it will be. I don't know. No, I think it'll be Rock Roman at Mania because I think Roman's going to lose the belt at Royal Rumble there.
This Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's going to drop the belt.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to go to Hogan.
And then it's Rock Roman
at Mania. To start.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because there's really no end in sight for the streak, this day streak.
No.
Like, they've gotten so far, and I just feel like this Rock Roman thing can and will take on a complete life of his own. Now, he'll have other, while the Rock's away or he's away, but I would have to assume that they've aligned their schedules to whatever they're going to do. Because even if we look at, like, Rock Cena, The Rock didn't just come in at that they did the Cena Miz.
Right.
Rock cost Cena. They came out the next night. They booked it for WrestleMania 28.
Right.
Okay. Rock wins in Miami.
Yeah.
Turns around, comes back in January, wins the belt, and then we're in MetLife for WrestleMania where Cena.
That's right.
So I can't see The Rock just coming in and then just losing one match. He's going to get his W. I really believe that The Rock just doesn't do business just to say, even though it's the right thing to do, whatever you want to say about that. Right. He's not just going to come out and just lay down and be like, all right, one match, whenever it is. Whenever you think that match will be.
Yeah.
And they'll build to it that The Rock's just going to. Now, unless they do a tag and The Rock gets the pin on Roman in a tag match.
Right.
Fine. But The Rock's going to get his W before he does the honors, so to speak.
And that's kind of what we got, right? Like, we got Rocky came back at that year building up to MetLife, right? So we got The Rock came back around Survivor Series. And then we got Cena and Rock tagged at Survivor Series against, I don't even remember who, but they tagged against somebody.
The Miz and R-Truth.
Against The Miz and R-Truth. And so we got like that.
Then The Rock beat Punk for the belt.
And then The Rock beat CM Punk for the belt. and then we go to Mania at MetLife.
Yeah.
So I understand, like I get that, but like kind of like what The Rock said, he's like, I want to do something different.
Yeah.
I want to do. That is the quintessential framework for somebody who is The Rock to come in and do a build with the full-time champion, and right. So like that is what they did in that moment with Cena Rock was the quintessential. Have him come back for a big thing. Let him do a tag him with who his opponent's going to be, especially because they're both baby faces. So tag him with who the opponent's going to be. Let him win a belt.
Yeah.
Then take that to. That is like the quintessential story. That's why I don't think this is multiple matches. That's why I don't think this is. I think this is going to be the one match. I think that it's going to be, it's not going to be for a belt.
I agree. No, that part I agree.
It will not be for a title.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to tell a story within this, right? Like, and there's like, it's not just a moment, but you're going to tell a story. The story that I would love to see told is, you came in here, Roman Reigns, and said you're the head of the table, but you can't even keep the family together. Jay's off doing this. You're not happy with Jimmy. Solo's about to punch you in the face. So, like, you can't even keep... How can you be the head of the table? You can't even keep the family together. You can't keep everybody in line. You can't keep...
Yeah.
That's the story that I want to see, right? Is like that idea of you're the head of the table, but you're not doing your job, and you're only the head of the table because I let you be the head of the table.
Yeah.
Because I'm not around, and that's where.
Yeah.
So that's the story that I would love to see told. But you also don't need more than one match for that, because that story is not told in wrestling matches. That story is told through promos and vignettes and interactions and being there and little altercations, and you build and build and build, and you get this one massive moment at the end of that story. So that's why I think this is one match. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think they need to address the Solo and Jimmy and Jay piece first. Whatever.
Sure.
They're going to do there with them, because they're going to play a role in this.
Yeah.
Because it's literally about them. Like literally, who we're just ahead of the table of one.
Well, that's
you know what I'm saying. So there's going to be that piece first of how that all plays in. So the Jay Jimmy will feed off this.
Yeah.
Whatever they get Solo doing. Okay. I'm going to assume The Rock would win the first. Or Roman could win the first and then Rock would come back. But I feel like Roman should win the first of the three matches with Solo and Jimmy's help.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
You know, Jay's been taken out.
Yeah.
And Solo and Jimmy are down there. They cost Rock the match.
Sure.
Roman Rock comes back. He's heated. You can't beat me one-on-one. So then we go to a second.
Right.
Rock gets his revenge. If Jay's still involved, he gets...
Right.
Rock gets the win. And now we're coming down to the... quote unquote tribal combat,
Yeah.
And now it's for the hill of beans, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
And we get that.
I don't know. I don't know that that's the. I don't know. That's, to me, that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if you want to tell a wrestling story, like, that story's been told 1,000 times. Like, we've done that.
Yeah.
With everybody. We did that with The Rock coming back for Cena. That's why I don't believe that we're going to get that. I think this is going a long time. I think this is going 12 months. I think the match happens at WrestleMania 41.
Which it should. Yeah.
I think we get some, The Rock shows up at SummerSlam, messes with Roman. I think we get a lot of head games back and forth between the two. And then you're going to see, I think you'll see matches. I think Rocky will face Solo, will face Jimmy, will tag with Jay, will do these things. You'll get matches, but not against, like, we're not going to get.
So you're saying that Roman's going to send the henchmen to go.
Right.
So Rock's going to have to get through all these guys to get to Roman, even though he's the Rock, and it should be the other way around.
100%, because Roman Reigns is the head of the table.
Okay.
Roman Reigns.
All right, so that's the multi-match thing that I'm thinking of, but I didn't think of it from that lens.
It's this,
I could deal with that.
Yeah. I don't think we get one match from The Rock. I think we get one match between The Rock and Roman. We get multiple matches out of The Rock, but it's other things.
Yeah.
Because the other way, the way you can think about this is, you can think about it, oh, he's got to go through these people to get to Roman. Or you can think about it as, oh, he's got to take out these people because they've been doing, listen, I don't know if anybody's noticed it or whatever, but for the past 3 years that Roman, 3 or 4 years, that Roman's been champion, he has not defended his title successfully without the help of someone.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a little teeny tiny detail
that Cody's fully aware of.
That Cody is fully aware of. But it's like this little detail that they've, like, that you can easily miss if you're not. And so to me, if you're doing that for, like, that is intentional.
Yeah.
So that you can set up, you can't beat me without your people. You can't beat The Rock without your people. And so when they do face each other and Roman is without his people and he inevitably beats The Rock,
yeah,
it means so much more. And there's just like, yeah, so that's why it's one match between Roman and Rock. I think he'll take out Solo, he'll take out Jimmy. Roman is the head of a table of one. And he's sitting there by himself, and now he has to go into what is going to be his hardest, they'll build it as the hardest challenge he's ever had. And he inevitably beats The Rock. And then we see where they go from there. But
so what do you think will be the biggest surprise of this?
I think I'm thinking the biggest surprise is Rocky helping Cody win the title from Roman.
Ooh.
So this is what I think is a good move. I don't think the match is happening at this year's WrestleMania. It's happening at WrestleMania 41. I think they plant the seed this year. They planted it, at day one, with Rock saying what he said. And I think they're just going to, Rock goes to Elimination Chamber, is just there, maybe some sort of interaction, whatever. But I think Rock costs Roman the belt at WrestleMania 41 and
40.
WrestleMania 40, and Cody wins the belt from Roman that way. I kind of hate it because it cheats Cody a little bit.
Yeah.
Out of his moment. Yeah. Because he couldn't do it without The Rock's help. But you have the other side of, well, Roman couldn't beat Cody without Solo's help. So, like, at the end of the day, like,
and then them two can always circle back around for one more.
They can always circle back around. And so I think that's the biggest surprise, is that he costs, because and then from there is where you really start to build this to WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
Which we don't know where it is yet.
No, we're wells away.
Yeah. So that's where I think that this is going. This is easily going to WrestleMania 41. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that, first of all, like, this is too big to try to do.
I agree. And I agree with that, because they've already sold out WrestleMania.
Right.
Why would you want to put this match on a card that you've already sold out?
Right.
You can't resell. Oh, we got The Rock now. All right, everyone return your tickets. We're upping the prices by 25%. Right. And now you all got to pay a Rock surcharge.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, something makes sense for Australia, because the stadium does fit 70,000 people, and they weren't planning on selling 70,000 tickets.
Right.
So if they're not going to put
Right.
70,000 in there, do you really do something? You have him show up? I don't know.
I think he's there.
I don't know.
I think he's at Elimination Chamber.
I don't know. And then your idea of him costing Cody would then costing Roman for Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're going to do one match, if we take your theory as being, correct.
Yeah.
Then they'll have an entire year to get to wherever
they have to.
They want to get to.
They have to. Because the other thing too is like think about the inclusion of all of the NOIE family. Another hard name for you to say. But
NOIE.
There you go. The inclusion of all of them, Rikishi, Sika, the Wild Samoans, getting to get them all involved.
You need time. I agree.
You need time. And also, if you're not going to have the family involved in this, you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
This is the moment to, give that family their due for what they've done for professional wrestling. All 4 million of them. But, give them their due.
Yeah.
And, give them their moment, and let all of them, be part of that. And then, and so you give this time to breathe and you give this time to, because we're going to have plenty of Cody Romans at WrestleMania. I'm going to tell you that.
There's a lot of Cody Romans running around.
There are a lot of Cody Romans running around. We're going to have plenty of time for more Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. Give this its moment. Give this its time. Give it its build. And then give us that one, the two of them, 80,000 people going nuts, staring across the ring from each other. It's going to be amazing to see.
Yeah.
So that's where I don't want to see that in front of 17,000 people.
No, it has to be.
That's why you can't do one. That's why you cannot do this match anywhere else other than WrestleMania. I know they're putting 70,000 people in for SummerSlam.
Well, you could do more than one match at more than one stadium. You're not pigeonholed. I think the ending, if you want to take that route, should be at Mania.
Right.
Okay. And I'm not comparing the two, but I mean, Roman Brock didn't end at Mania. It went one more
at SummerSlam
because they saw an opportunity. Hey, there's still meat on this bone.
Right.
We got to peel it all off. So that's why I think there's going to be at least two. I'm saying three because I think they're going to make this a trilogy. My biggest surprise for me, I'm not saying what I would be surprised is if it is only one match. I would be surprised.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, and I like everything you've laid out. But if time is permitted, and The Rock is available and Roman's available, you can't just do one. It's too big to just do one, to me. So, what would be your biggest disappointment in this feud? What would disappoint you?
They do more than one match.
Really?
Yeah. Here's my thing.
Oh, I like it.
Here's my thing about it is I understand the want of multiple matches. I get it. But in my head of telling this story, if it's, I know I was like, there's no story to tell, but
no, there's definitely a story to tell.
In my head of how this builds and how this, for this to be multiple matches, I'm just like, why? I'm just like, why? I don't understand. Other than we want it, Brock and Roman, and I'm trying to remember, and I'm thinking I'm right here, but you correct me if I'm wrong. But Brock and Roman at SummerSlam, yes, there was still meat on that bone, but
sold out the place.
But at the same time, kind of may have only happened because Cody got hurt. That's right after Cody tears his, right? Because then, am I thinking the right SummerSlam or am I off?
No, that's the right year, yeah.
Cody tears his pec.
Yeah, because the Mania that it was for that unified the belts.
Comes back.
Cody came back.
He came back at that Rumble. That following comes back to the Rumble, that wins the Rumble, and then goes to last year's Mania.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Cody and Roman would have fought at SummerSlam that year. But what I'm saying is, like...
There's a chance that it could have happened.
There's a chance, and also, like... So it's like, well, what can we do with Brock? Like, oh, let's just put Brock back in. We'll give him... Because we all talked about, do we really need another Brock-Roman match? Like,
well, there's been 12 of them.
Right. Like, we didn't need it. Yeah. So, in my opinion, it was kind of... So, like, when you're like, it was a good match. Like, great match. Like, I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't need it.
Yeah.
There's something about that idea of, like, this only being one of one. Like, this is the only time. Think about the way you sell tickets. Ticket prices will shoot up, right? Because if you have multiple, it dilutes everything. If they have multiple matches, it dilutes literally everything. It dilutes. Well, I don't need to go to WrestleMania to see them because I saw them wrestle each other at SummerSlam. Yeah. I saw them at Survivor Series. I saw them at... Sure, there's that one person who gets to say, I saw them at SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. I saw all 4 matches. Cool. But, like, there's just this purity to it.
Yeah.
If it's one match at WrestleMania and it just on the grandest stage of them all, and yeah, I would be highly disappointed if this is multiple matches.
And I would be disappointed if it's one match. I want more. I think there's reason for more. Why sell out one stadium when you can sell out 2 or 3? All right. If you have the time and the guys are in for it, you take it for all it's worth.
Sure.
Literally take it for all it's worth, because one stadium is not big enough to fit this.
Right.
Okay. If there was a stadium that fit 150,000 people,
sure,
they put them 2 at the top of the card, it's selling out in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
So make it. All the different stories that you want to try to weave into this.
Right.
It's too big for just one. To me.
I don't know. Like, you think about like I think about movies, because we've talked about this, and
there's always sequels to movies. Always.
There was no sequel to the Titanic.
That's a silly analogy.
There was no.
What was going to be the sequel? The people underwater?
I mean, you could do it. Well, no, but like you can do.
That's like a sequel to Pearl Harbor.
But
you can't do a sequel to Pearl Harbor movie.
Sure, you can. They've done them. They did movies. They did like think. Okay, so think about it this way. Can you do a sequel to the Titanic? Yes and no. Like no, because the ship is gone, right? But you can do a lot of movies around that like franchise.
I'm going to use Star Wars analogy for you.
Okay.
Rock Roman 1 is A New Hope. Rock comes in trying to beat Roman for the head of the table. Okay. Rock Roman 2.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bloodline attacks. Okay. Jimmy and Solo get involved, and now they're a key cog in Rock Roman 2. Rock Roman 3.
Sure.
The Rock Strikes Back. Yeah. Okay. Boom. Okay. WrestleMania, whatever.
Yeah, but okay, cool. But let me ask you this question.
And then we can come back and do the prequels. Oh, that's Young Rock. Sorry, we already saw that.
But here's the question for you with that analogy. Of those 3 movies, right, which one of them beat the Titanic in box office?
Well, it was also in the 70s when those movies came out.
So?
That's a silly.
It's not a silly.
Yes,
analogy.
You can't.
It's not a silly.
You
analogy.
can't put the 2 together. Not. And I don't know what the inflation would be from when those tickets were sold to when the Titanic sold.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know how much. If you put the 3 movies together, I think it wiped Titanic off the map, box office wise. If you took whatever the ticket prices were when Titanic was sold.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I do think.
So if SummerSlam was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? They'll sell it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Royal Rumble is in NRG Stadium in Houston,
sure,
and they're on the top of the card, they're selling it out. And WrestleMania 41, wherever it might be,
sure,
they're selling it out.
But here's my question for you on that, right? On that point. They're already sold out for WrestleMania this year.
And they shouldn't do it this year.
Right. But they're already sold out for WrestleMania this year without any matches announced. without the thought of The Rock being
Yes.
there this year.
Well,
Okay,
you're right, but I'm not waiting till
sure,
if whatever goes on now.
yeah,
Okay, I set that match for the first pay-per-view ASAP. I'm putting it out there immediately. If it is
you're
the one match, if we're going to use your theory and it's a one match, I'm announcing it at Elimination Chamber.
yeah,
I'm not
100%.
waiting, or the day you want to do the day after Mania to not take away from WrestleMania 40.
Right.
Cool, but I'm announcing it well before tickets are sold.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm putting Rock. If it's SummerSlam, the first match,
100%.
I'm putting that out 2 weeks before tickets go on sale.
Yeah.
And then if wherever the second and third matches are, right, I'm putting that out. I'm not waiting to sell it out and then announcing Rock Roman.
But the point I was trying to make with that is that you're talking about we put them on the card. We're selling out those stadiums.
Yes.
WWE is selling out those stadiums regardless. Here in the U.S., WWE goes to those stadiums for the SummerSlam, the Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Doesn't matter. They're selling out. So
then don't do the matches at all. That's not the point I'm trying to make.
That I understand that, but I'm just trying to combat your point of like, if we put them on, we're
3
selling
matches,
them out.
Chris. 3 matches.
But let me give you my timeline here. Okay, Cody wins the Royal Rumble. I don't think CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. I think he gets to Seth another way. I also don't think you need CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble in order to get to Seth. Cody wins the Royal Rumble, becomes the 4th person ever to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles, which also sets him up for the big, like, he's the only 4th person to do it, right? All that stuff. We go to Chamber. I think The Rock is there. Cody has already declared that he is going after Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So The Rock says, listen, I'm not going to take away from Cody's moment. So, Cody, this is you. But WrestleMania 41, Roman Reigns, you're mine. I think he makes that announcement at Elimination Chamber. And this is not 100% my theory. This is something that somebody else I saw on TikTok.
Who said it? Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. But the guy said it on TikTok. But I do think that they announce it at the Chamber. If they don't announce it at Elimination Chamber, I do think that it literally is a Rocky interrupts Roman on the Raw after Mania, and that's when we set the match up for WrestleMania 41. But if we're going, go to WrestleMania 40, Cody beats Roman, The Rock with an assist from The Rock, and now we're off to the races with these two. I think you're looking at a match with The Rock and either Jimmy or Solo at SummerSlam, a match with The Rock with either Jimmy or Solo, just switch them at Survivor Series, and then we can do whatever, like, and then you just, you have some other pieces that can fall in place for Rumble, and then that match happens WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, there's this idea of like, we talked about this last year with the build up between Cody and Roman from the Rumble to WrestleMania. One of the things they did, which was very different, is that Cody and Roman never came to blows until they didn't touch one another.
Yep.
Until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And how special that was. And how, like, oh my goodness, like they haven't, right? Because then we got to Mania and like it had been building for so long. That's what I think. That was 3 months that we did that.
Yeah.
Think about if this is 12. That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't touch each other for 12 months. And the first time that they're going to actually come to blows is in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania for the head of the table. That's cool. And that's different.
That's cool.
That's cool. I'm freaking in for that ride.
You're going to be so wrong.
I'm going to be
it's going to be so great when you're wrong. Like the bloodline was never going to end, and then when it ended, you just moped and me.
I was very sad.
Nick Khan, Triple H, you know you want more than one match. You do make good points, minus your Titanic Star Wars movie ticket thing.
Well, but yeah, that's my theory of what's going to happen over the next 12 to 14 months of how this is going to play out. But I like it. I'm in for whatever. Like, we're just getting Rock Roman.
Yeah.
I'll be disappointed.
I don't want them to rush it. If it is the one, I don't want them to do it at 40. I don't.
No.
I don't.
No, you can't.
It's too soon.
And it's too special.
Yeah, I agree.
It's, it's too special of a, like, because there's also so much history at play here.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much, and not only with who The Rock and Roman are individually, and also like who they are in their families, but also like you have the Rhodes family, like part of this story and like intertwined in with the two, which fingers crossed that Dustin, like I'd love to see Dustin back for being part of this somehow. But you have these royal families of wrestling that we have this opportunity to do something really cool and really special. And so, to rush it from here to Mania wouldn't be...
That is not...
No.
Not at all.
You got to give it its time.
Slow play it, multiple matches.
One match.
Well, The Rock is doing multiple matches, but no. I like the idea. I do.
Well, thank you. I come up with good ideas every once in a while.
I'm not totally against it.
No, you're just against, the Titanic. That's all.
I'm against a sequel to the Titanic.
Somebody get James Cameron on the phone. Let's go with it. Let's see.
He's too busy working on Avatar 9. Okay.
That'll come out in 2095.
Seriously. All right. So we're going to keep receipts here and we're going to see how this plays out.
Well, this is going on YouTube, so it's going to be there.
All right. So for Bear, this is Mike. Another episode of WrestlePool in the book. Rock Roman storyline. Let's see where it goes. For life.